Ryan. My name's Kristen.
Hi.
It's nice to see you today.
Nice to see you too.
I'm the social worker here at St. Elizabeth. And before we get started, I just want to go over a few things. This forum here is just telling you about the confidentiality that we have in the office. Basically, anything that you share with me today will not be shared with anyone else,
Okay.
just besides the insurance companies and my supervisor or any other case managers that are assigned your case ever. But other than that, everything here, this is a safe zone, so feel free to share with me whatever you'd like.
Okay.
Alright, so if you would just go ahead and sign that for me.
All right.
Alright, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going over your paper, and it said that you were recommended to come see me today by a family member. Can you tell me a little bit more of why you came today?
Yeah, it's my wife actually referred me here because my anger issues have been getting kind of out of control lately, and she said it's either this or she will seek a divorce in the future. So,
Wow, yeah, so divorce, that's pretty serious. Must
yeah.
be. Alright, so can you tell me a little bit more of what concern she's having, if it's resulting in divorce soon?
Well, I'm gonna try anything I can to avoid the divorce, but ever since a couple years ago, I started using steroids, and ever since then, my anger has just been getting worse and worse. And basically, it's just getting out of control to where this is pretty much the last straw that I have. This is the last resort.
Okay, thank you for sharing that with me. Can you tell me, are you prescribed the steroids for any medical condition or anything?
No, I just kind of started working out a little bit and met a few people at the gym, and they said, "Hey, do you want to get bigger and stronger faster?" And just like any other mid-20-year-old male would say, I said, "Yeah," and I tried it, and I kind of just kept doing it. Kind of got addicted to it.
Okay, so it's kind of like a recreational use then.
Yeah.
All right. So can you tell me about when this started becoming an issue for you, and when you realized it was a concern,
Yeah.
steroid use?
Yeah. I started taking them, and this is like a few years ago. And at first, everything was okay. Didn't really notice anything. And then a little bit, probably 6 to 8 months after I started using the steroids, is when we started to notice that my anger had been getting worse. I'd been snapping a lot more at my wife, been just taking little things and make them into bigger problems than what they need to be. And it also got me into some trouble with the law as well. So.
Wow. Well, sounds like you've had a pretty rough year then. So have the steroids, are they helping you, or is it all negative effects?
I think it's helping me because it makes me work out longer and harder and relieve more stress, but it's also making things get worse because as time goes on, it's just my anger just builds up more and more and more.
Okay, so what it sounds like to me is that on one hand, steroids are helping you, get bigger and help you out work-wise in the gym, but then on the other hand, they're making you snap and causing a lot of difficulty in your outside life, like with your family and your wife.
Yeah, and that's why I'm kind of here because I need somebody to help me balance the two out.
Okay. So yeah, we can definitely try to help you with that. I mean, have you heard any risk or anything that come along with the steroid use?
Um, I haven't really heard any negative risks about it. I mean, the people I get it from, they're all look happy and having nice lives, and they're all at their peak when it comes to building muscle and stuff. So I didn't see any negative risks about it right off the bat or anything like that. So.
Do you mind if I share a few risks that I know about the steroids with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, the main one thing is that it could lead to breast development in men. And then another huge risk is that it could actually cause infertility and low sperm count with you. And a number of different disorders and even diseases if you're, using dirty needles and whatnot. So that's just something to think of, but it's definitely a really good thing that you came to see me today. A lot of people, don't even want to come to the doctors at all. they definitely don't want to talk to people. So it's a huge step and goal, stepping stone that you came to see me today. Definitely shows that you're, ready to have a change.
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't know about any of that, but it is definitely my last resort to come and get some help and try to fix this problem because not only is my marriage on the line, but I'm also on probation because one of the issues I had with my anger was I did get into a fight, and I was charged with an assault, which is a felony, and I do report to a probation officer. So if he was to make me take a drug test and I happened to fail because of the steroid use, then I would have to go back to jail to finish out the remainder of my probation.
Wow, yeah. So from what I hear is that, are you on probation for the assault? Was this when you were taking the steroids, or was this prior to the steroids?
This is while I was taking them. I had started taking them, and then about a year or so afterwards is when the fight happened, and I was actually sentenced to jail for about 8 months. And I thought that may have helped me, stop the steroid use, but when I got out, I even wanted to do it even more. So it kind of didn't help that much.
Thanks for sharing that with me. Can you tell me a little bit more how probation and parole, how that affects your life at all?
Yeah, I had a job before I started using the steroids and before I got in trouble with the law. It's actually a really financially secure job at Fidelity Investments, and they let me go after my release from jail because I violated the terms of my employment by having a felony on my record. And also, my landlord has been threatening to evict me and my wife now because I'm a felon now too.
Yeah, wow, that must be definitely rough on you two as well. Um, so, is it, you said the eviction, so what you're saying is if your landlord can actually evict you for the charges, how does that have a toll at all on your relationship with your wife right now?
Yeah. I mean, definitely with she's also 5 months pregnant, so we need somewhere steady right now so that we can actually raise a family, and I also need to get some sort of employment, but that's not gonna be easy to do with the felony, and of course if I keep using steroids because I won't be able to pass a drug urinalysis.
Okay. And I heard you mention your anger quite a few times. Have you had any recent outbursts in the past couple days or today at all?
A couple of days ago, my wife left a dirty dish on the sink, and it's just minor, nothing small. It normally wouldn't bother anybody else, but it did kind of make me really angry. And I took the plate and threw it across the room, and it shattered. And I snapped at her and made some outbursts, yelling and stuff. And then I know that it's not any major issue. Like that's not something that anybody else would find a problem with, but because my anger is so bad that's just a small thing that just erupted, and I'm just afraid of anything else that could happen, anything worse.
Yeah. Well, I think it's great that you can see that, where the concerns are lying and where your wife actually has concerns with your anger, and maybe that you said that the small things are actually not, that big, but they're still making you erupt and causing your anger just to get out of whack where it normally wouldn't have done that before, steroid use.
Yeah.
Alright, so looks like our time is up. So before you go, let me make sure we're on the same track and make sure that I've gotten everything down with what you've said. So basically, you're here because your wife, she is worried about your anger, which is definitely sounds like it's coming from the steroid use, and the steroid use has had a huge impact on your life. It's caused you to have an assault now charge, which you're on probation and parole, and you're almost going to lose your job, but you don't have a job, so you're almost going to lose your apartment and possibly your wife and your child if you don't get this act fixed or some kind of help here. But this is definitely a first step, so you come in to see me, it's definitely a first step in this path. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do a plan. So first, for your anger issues, I'd like for you to go and get a stress ball. That way when you get really angry, instead of fighting or throwing dishes, you can just go and squeeze out, or punching bags. And she said you like to work out. Kickboxing is a really good stress reliever, and it can definitely help you relieve all that built up stress and anxiety that you have.
Okay.
And then second, what you can do is start journaling. Journal your thoughts for a day so that you can start realizing what makes you tick more, what makes you set off more. And then if you could YouTube motivational, inspirational, spiritual, anything like that, and listen to that at nighttime before you go to bed, it actually eases your serotonin in your brain. That way it can help you relax and get all the negative thoughts and whatnot out of the way. Does that sound good for you?
Yeah, that sounds good. They're all good ideas. It's definitely a good starting place.
Okay.
I'll give it a try.
And then I'll schedule an appointment for you to come back and see me in 2 weeks at 2 p.m.
Okay.
That sounds all right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, it was great to meet you, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
All right. Nice meeting you too.
All right. Thank you for coming out.
All right, thank you.